Like, share and subscribe. Your personal wedding invitations. When planning your wedding, leave sufficient time to consider the invitations. The look of them, the wording of them, the intent behind their presentation all send a message to the recipients and set the tone for the wedding itself. Traditional wording for your wedding invitations would be something like this: Mr. and Mrs. John White request the honor of your presence to witness the bonding together of their daughter Evelyn Linda White and Mr. Michael Warren Jessup, son of Mr. and Mrs. Winston Jessup. This would of course be followed by the particulars. A less formal approach might read something like this: Evelyn Linda White and Michael Warren Jessup invite you to witness their vows of love on their wedding day. And so on. There is nothing inherently right or wrong about a formal versus a casual approach to your wedding invitations. That decision simply depends on the scale of the event. There are situations when it would be appropriate to include the invitation to the wedding reception with the wedding invitation. At other times it would be more prudent to create a separate invitation for both events. A separate invitation to the reception only might look like this: Evelyn Linda White and Mr. Michael Warren Jessup request the pleasure of your company at their wedding reception Sunday the 10th of June 3:00 p.m. St. Andrew's Church 3268 6th Avenue Black Tie. Requested RSVP 888-376-9882. Note: email RSVPs are still not acceptable unless the event is informal. Also, there is rarely if ever a time when it would be appropriate to invite a guest to your wedding but not to your reception. A fairly new accessory to the wedding and reception invitations is the reply card. This is simply a separate card included inside the invitation with lines to be filled out. Etiquette requires you to provide a stamp on the reply card's envelope. The rules are not as important, however, as your intention. If you put a little conscious energy into every phase of your wedding, including your invitations, you will manifest a clear and ringing expression of your love and commitment and a beautiful memory for a lifetime. Why should you get married in Las Vegas? Las Vegas is by far the most popular wedding destination in the United States and perhaps the world. Over 115,000 weddings are held in Las Vegas every year, and it's a perfect place for couples and celebrities who want to get married quickly and/or unusually. Las Vegas weddings have the following advantages: it's affordable. Vegas weddings can cost less than traditional wedding ceremonies. It can be held on very short notice. Most chapels in Las Vegas allow couples to book their wedding right away. Others accommodate walk-ins. But make sure you have a marriage license first available from the Marriage Bureau, Las Vegas, Nevada, which is located at 200 3rd Street, 1st floor, Las Vegas, NV 89155-1603. Cost at time of writing was $55. It's convenient. Las Vegas hotels usually have their own wedding chapels with a wedding coordinator who takes charge of all the preparations, including the flowers, music and marriage celebrant, officiant, and can get in touch with the bridal party on the phone or even online. It's fun. Vegas weddings offer couples a fun and amusing wedding even with an Elvis impersonator. It allows couples to start their honeymoon early. There's no need for couples to board a plane and head out of town after the wedding. Las Vegas is a great honeymoon destination. Your Las Vegas wedding checklist: 1. Set a wedding date. 2. Decide on a Las Vegas wedding chapel. You can check out Las Vegas wedding chapels online. 3. Speak to wedding coordinators to find out about wedding packages and compare service and prices. 4. Book the time and date of the ceremony. 5. Make plane and hotel reservations for yourself and friends and family attending the wedding. 6. Make reservations for a celebratory lunch or dinner. 7. Obtain your marriage license. 8. Slip away after the ceremony and begin your honeymoon. Below are some points you also need to consider when getting married in Las Vegas. Watch out for peak holiday seasons that result in busy wedding days such as Valentine's Day and New Year's Eve. Don't forget about a wedding dress. There are quite a few places in Las Vegas where you can rent wedding dresses if you don't wish to buy one. Extremely hot weather in Las Vegas can be uncomfortable when you're in a tuxedo or wedding gown, not to mention your hair, makeup and wedding cake icing. Ensure you meet the legal requirements to get married and have a marriage license before the ceremony. Now you're ready for the exciting experience of a Las Vegas wedding. Viva Las Vegas! World War II weaponry. Interestingly enough, 2 innocuous prunes claim to be accepted as one of the secret weapons of World War II period. Spink, an auction house in London, is selling 2 greying prunes that it claims were chosen to be stuffed with documents or other maps to be passed on to prisoners of war secretly. As part of the memorabilia sheltered by a British spy, the prunes had been preserved. According to Emily Jackson, the Spink spokeswoman, the prunes are extremely dry and hard, and it's really astonishing that they have survived. The late Doreen Mullott, a previous member of Special Operations Executive of Britain, which was started to steer operations behind enemy lines, had collected World War II memorabilia such as these: http://www.a2armory.com/ww2-weapons.html, of which the prunes formed a part. The then British Prime Minister Winston Churchill and Hugh Dalton had established the executive to carry on warfare by means other than direct military engagement, and it was referred to as the Baker Street Irregulars after Sherlock Holmes' fictional group of spies. In a telephonic interview, Marshall informed that his great-aunt prepared the prunes in a large bathroom of her large house in Hampstead in North London neighbourhood. In water, the dried fruits were softened and then depitted to allow insertion of carefully rolled documents covered in waxed paper into cavities. Next, those were re-dried and packed in Red Cross food parcels for the prisoners, who utilized the information to flee away. Quite an ingenious idea it was, Marshall said, but not at all a thing normally connected with fighting when war rages. Marshall added that she had told him how she, along with an associate, would be seated over the bathtub that was filled with prunes. Confirmation came out from the auction house that in any operation these prunes were never used. Your wedding countdown. This is intended as a guide to help you plan the essential elements in the countdown to the wedding day. Organize everything in advance, and everything should go smoothly, and seek help from family, close friends and professionals. Less than be greater than 1 year before your wedding. Less than be greater than. First things first, set the special date and arrange a time with the priest, minister or registrar. Discuss in full detail your plans with the person who will be performing the ceremony. Decide on a budget and stick to it. Remember to suit the ceremony to your budget and to both your personal tastes and wishes. Talk it all out now. Decide on the type of ceremony, type of reception, and how many guests will attend. Choose your venue and arrange a meeting with the people in charge. This goes for hotels, caterers, musicians for the ceremony, the reception, etc. Plan your wedding cake, cars, photographer and florist. Think about wedding clothes and costumes, particularly your bridal dress colors, fabrics and accessories. Remember, you will probably want a color scheme and a style that carries throughout the day, so talk your plans through with your dressmaker, florist and caterer. Both of you should book in for a pre-marriage course. Start thinking about your honeymoon. Less than be greater than 6 months before the wedding. Less than be greater than order wedding stationery, cake boxes and favors. Discuss the order of the service with the person performing the ceremony and decide on service sheets for guests. Discuss your wedding menu with your caterer's hotelier. Decide on a wedding present list. Choose the rings. A doctor and dentist checkup is a good idea. Plan inoculations for your honeymoon if necessary. Organize visas, passports, etc. Think about your going away attire and clothes for your honeymoon. Less than be greater than 3 months before the wedding. Less than be greater than. Make sure you have all the appropriate pre-marriage documents and certificates. Finalize details of your color scheme, bouquets, buttonholes with the florist. Finalize the wedding guest list and have the invitations sent. Remember to keep a careful track of replies. Choose gifts for the best man, bridesmaids and attendants. Arrange accommodation for attendants and advise traveling guests of the rates for your hotel. Less than be greater than a month before the wedding. Less than be greater than. Organize the final fittings for your dress and for the bridesmaids. On the day of your final fittings, make sure all the bridesmaids are wearing the same shoes that they intend to wear on the big day. Finalize fittings for the groom and best man. Have a hair and makeup rehearsal. On the day of the hair and makeup rehearsal, remember to bring the headdress with you for the expert's opinion. Finalize seating arrangements for the church and wedding reception. Plan the wedding rehearsal with the priest, minister or registrar. Eat properly for the next few weeks. You will need all your energy with all the running around you will be doing. Less than be greater than a fortnight to go. Less than be greater than. Arrange your honeymoon and going away clothes, including passports, tickets and visas. Now is the time to arrange travelers' checks, insurance, car hire and all other documentation. Give advice to the hotelier of the approximate number of guests for the reception. Plan the table setting, place cards and linen, etc. Finalize details with the florist, photographer and caterers. Try all your wedding clothes on and make sure all fits correctly and all is comfortable. Less than be greater than a week to go. Less than be greater than have the wedding rehearsal. Nominate someone to look after the wedding dress and the groom's outfit after the wedding. Wrap all the gifts for the bridesmaids, best man and attendants. Arrange all fees for the church or registrar, musicians. Best man should do these. Do one last check on all documentation required including passports for the honeymoon. Give all documentation to the best man for safekeeping. Less than be greater than 2 days before the wedding. Less than be greater than confirm your final guest list to your hotelier. Make sure the wedding cake is fine and arrange all transport to and from your reception. Less than be greater than the day before. Less than be greater than have a manicure and pedicure, a long hot bath and an early night. Less than be greater than the big day. Less than be greater than relax. Have a good breakfast. Get your hair and makeup done. Give yourself plenty of time to reach the church or registrar and always allow for the last minute hiccup. Have a fantastic day to remember. Wireless security camera, for Dick Tracy and every Tom, Dick, and Harry. Have you seen the movie Dick Tracy? It was the 1990 blockbuster film starring Al Pacino and Madonna. It's based on Chester Gould's comic strip which he wrote and drew from 1931 until 1977. The work featured Dick Tracy, the superhero of police detectives. He was smart. He could punch with an iron fist. Even more impressive, he had the fastest draw in the city. Dick Tracy had to face villains so ugly they could make onions cry. These bad guys and gals include BB Eyes, who had the eyes of a frog, Hairless Miss Egghead, the Blank, who literally had no face, and the Claw, whose hook replaced a missing hand. One of the comic strip's hallmarks was Dick Tracy's gadgets, which he used to help track down these evil villains. His most famous tool was his two-way wrist radio, which, beginning in 1946, allowed Dick Tracy and police force members to communicate easily. In 1964, the watch was improved to a two-way wrist TV, and then to a two-way wrist computer in the year 1987. Today, a wireless security camera would certainly be included in Dick Tracy's arsenal of gizmos. Cameras and calendars. Before the wireless security camera, there was the television camera. Philo Taylor Farnsworth invented one that transformed the captured image into an electric signal. The US dollar sign was the image that he transmitted. Farnsworth received a patent for his dissector tube invention that transmitted the image. Later, the first professional camcorder was put on the market in 1982, and then during the following year the first domestic camcorder appeared in stores. The first video surveillance system was installed in 1942, about a decade after Dick Tracy first appeared, to observe the launching of V-2 rockets. Today, security cameras have come a long way. They are now digital rather than analog, and even a wireless security camera can be used. Pulling the plug while a home security system would probably not include a V-2 rocket, today the wireless security camera has become instrumental in keeping homes safe. When considering whether or not a wired or wireless security camera is ideal for you, think about the benefits of the wireless security camera. They are ideal for the do-it-yourself kind of person because as they are easy to set up and are more portable. They are easier to conceal. They sometimes have motion-activated sensors that email you after a person has walked into view. They can be accessed by logging onto your computer from almost anywhere. They don't require a power connector, so they can be placed almost anywhere. They can save you money because you will not have to spend much money on wires and other electrical pieces. Working outside of the home, the wireless security camera also has several applications outside the home. These include crime registration, monitoring of traffic, observation of industrial processes at factories, and compliance with safety requirements. Today's wireless security cameras are so tiny they are very difficult or impossible for the naked eye to detect. This makes them ideal for places where the camera must be concealed. Technology has come a long way since Dick Tracy was introduced into the world of comic books in 1931. In fact, the wireless security camera has become so effective that the fearless detective might even use one if he was still prowling the streets for bad guys today. Your matchmaker recommends a titanium wedding ring. Your wedding ring is a symbol of eternal love between marriage partners. It shines in the wedding photographs and it's the first thing your guests will want to look at. Sadly, most wedding rings don't stay shiny and new after 10 years. Many gold rings are dented and scratched with no shine. Did you know that titanium is an option for your wedding ring? Titanium was first discovered in England in 1791 by Reverend William Gregor. It's named after the Titans, a race of powerful deities who ruled during the legendary Golden Age. The metal is produced in its highest quantity in Australia and is prized for its strength and light weight. This makes it very suitable for anyone involved in manual work, as it will stand up to wear much better than gold. It's also a hypoallergenic material, making it suitable for sensitive skin. Until recently, titanium was most likely to be used in high-tech fields such as space and medical fields. If you wear lightweight glasses, they probably contain titanium. In jewelry, the use of titanium is a new innovation. Jewelers are just learning that the metal is easy to work with and makes for some very beautiful jewelry. You should be able to find titanium wedding rings in a variety of designs and styles, set with stones and also inlaid with other precious metals. If your matchmaker found you a rich spouse, you can set your titanium ring with diamonds or emeralds. The good news is that it usually costs less than the equivalent version in other precious metals. Matrimonial experts will normally advise against trendy wedding rings, as anyone sporting a wide wedding band from the 7 ties now realizes. However, the look of a titanium wedding ring is not radically different from gold or platinum, but it has so many advantages: lower or average cost, high tensile strength, scratch resistance, and it's hypoallergenic. Of all the things in your wedding day budget, your wedding ring is the most permanent. The bridal dress will probably gather dust in a box or go to a charity shop. Flowers are gone in a few days. The cake might last until the birth of your first child. The ring, however, is here forever as a reminder of your love match, and if your matrimonial arrangement does go wrong, remember that titanium is a stronger material as you take aim to throw it at your beloved. White after Labor Day statement or faux pause. Labor Day is coming fast. If you find yourself wondering whether to put away your summer whites as past trends have dictated, you are not alone. Although Labor Day is considered the launch into fall, wearing dark colors in heavy fabrics on a sunny September day can feel a little uncomfortable. While white shirts and blouses have always been considered year-round basics, white shoes, jackets, skirts, pants and outerwear are traditionally worn in the spring and summer months. In the past, these laws of fashion were rigid. However, in recent years the rules have relaxed. If you are having trouble making the transition into fall, you may want to consider the following. Over the last few years, designers have been breaking the traditional rules in the world of fashion by introducing white into their fall and winter collections. This year is no exception. The secret is in the texture and fabric. Whites and pastels look fashionable and feel cozy during the cooler months when worn in heavier weight fabrics. If the sun is shining and it's too warm for wool, try wearing lighter weight fabrics in darker shades such as black, brown and navy to help ease the transition from warm to cool weather. As the weather changes, gradually add heavier weight fabrics to your wardrobe, changing it from breezy to cozy. Although white sneakers are accepted year-round, white sandals are not. Open-toed shoes, slingbacks and mules in darker neutrals can take you from summer into fall. As the weather gets cooler or wetter, as it does here on the West Coast, introduce boots and classic winter shoe styles. Accessories reveal the time of year when the calendar changes from summer to fall, so should your accessories. Woven accessories in fibers such as in straw and jute say summer. Fall demands accessories in materials like leather and metal that coordinate well with your clothing and shoes. Some traditions are here to stay. But it's nice to know that dressing for fall can be a slow transition rather than a formal event. Now that you know the rules for dressing after Labor Day, it's up to you to decide how you want to apply them. Fashion statement or faux pas. It's wonderfully black and white. Who's who on the bridal shower guest list? When getting married, it can sometimes be difficult to understand the proper etiquette involved with many of the wedding functions. The bridal shower is no exception. Many brides-to-be are left uncertain of the proper procedures to follow when planning a bridal shower and who to invite. In addition, the proper role of different guests on the list can become confusing. With a few simple rules of thumb, however, you are guaranteed to have a memorable and proper bridal shower. Who hosts the bridal shower? The maid or matron of honor, and never the bridesmaids, traditionally hosts the bridal shower. It's however acceptable for another close friend of either the bride or the groom to take on the responsibility. For the most part, it is considered unacceptable for a close relative of the bride such as the mother or siblings to throw a bridal shower. This is because it gives the appearance that the family is scouting for gifts. In some areas of the country, however, it's customary for a close relative to throw the bridal shower. In addition, if the bride doesn't have anyone else to throw the party for her, it may be acceptable for the mother or a sister to throw the party. The family members should, however, try to have as little involvement as possible. It's never considered acceptable for the bride to throw her own bridal shower. Sometimes the co-workers of a bride-to-be also decide to throw a bridal shower. A group of co-workers or just one co-worker may host this shower. So far as etiquette is concerned, this is perfectly acceptable. Just be sure to limit the guest list to co-workers. Inviting friends and family to a bridal shower hosted by co-workers is tacky. Who should be invited to the bridal shower? You can invite whomever you want to your bridal shower. Your guest list should certainly include your mother, your future mother-in-law, and your maid or matron of honor. If the bride or the groom has a stepmother, she should also be invited. Traditionally, a bridal shower involves only women. But co-ed bridal showers are gaining in popularity. This decision is one you will have to make when creating your guest list. Typically, brides-to-be invite their immediate family members to attend their bridal showers. They also invite all of the female members of the bridal party and the male members if the bridal shower is co-ed and other close relatives. Close friends are also invited to the bridal shower. As a rule of thumb, only people who have been invited to the wedding itself should be invited to the bridal shower. It's uncouth to invite someone to the shower without also inviting him or her to the wedding, as it implies you are only interested in receiving his or her gifts. You are not, however, expected to invite everyone who will be attending the wedding. Of course, bridal showers hosted by co-workers are the exception. You are not expected to invite your co-workers to your wedding, even if they do throw you a bridal shower. If you are having a difficult time deciding who to invite to your bridal shower and who not to invite, take a look at your wedding guest list. First, eliminate all of the females with whom the bride does not know directly, such as the wives of male friends. Next, cross off people who were invited to the wedding simply because it's proper but who are not close to the bride. This can include distant relatives or female friends of the bride-to-be's parents. What if there will be more than one bridal shower? If you will be having more than one bridal shower, mothers, stepmothers and female siblings on both sides as well as the maid of honor should be invited to every shower. None of these women, however, should be expected to provide a gift at each shower. In addition, the female siblings of the groom should have the option of choosing to attend only one of the showers. Any other guests should be only invited to one of the showers. If you do choose to invite someone to more than one shower, be sure to make it perfectly clear that the person is not expected to bring a gift each time. White contact lenses, to sport that crazy and unique look. Nowadays there exists a range of colored contacts. Different lenses that give your eye a unique appearance are being introduced. Some of these unique color contact lenses have become very popular. If you are the one looking for unique and distinct contact lenses, you can go ahead with a white contact lens. These white contact lenses are also known as complete blackout lenses. White-colored contacts have become popular because of various reasons. It could be lens that serves cosmetic purpose, or it may be sported by crazy people for fun. Youngsters love these white lenses for fun parties in order to give themselves a distinct look. In theaters and movies, these lenses are in great use and are meant to serve the specific needs of particular characters. Most often in vampire movies, these lenses are used to give a dreadful look to the character. Even for other characters who are meant to portray horrific image, these white lenses could be used. Even for portrayal of a blind, these lenses are used. Wherever you would go with these lenses on your eyes, you can create a stir. But before using these white lenses, you must check out your eye's suitability against usage of these lenses. White color lenses too come in variety. There is one that comes with a hole-in lens. Such white lenses give a very dramatic look to eyes. Each of the white lenses gives distinct appearance to your eyes. Halloween white contact lenses happen to be most sought after. In certain cases, these white lenses have been found affecting the vision. That's why if you have to use these lenses for an extended period, you should seek recommendation from eye specialist for the same. Crazy folks love to surprise their buddies by sporting these white lenses. Now vision corrective white colored contact lenses have also come on the block. You must buy these lenses after checking reputation and credibility of the brand. So never prefer a substandard brand. These white lenses most often happen to be disposable colored contacts. They must not be used beyond the directed period of usage. Before and after use, these lenses must be properly cleaned with the help of contact lens cleaner. What you should know about warranty laws of motorized wheelchairs. For as long as one purchases any original products on any registered and recognized distributor, it will always be guaranteed to have a warranty. This warranty ensures that the quality of the product and the buyer's money is not sacrificed. Since wheelchairs are expensive, the buyers must know the laws or rules regarding its warranty so that when problems occur they will be solved immediately. As amended under 1096 under Section 670 of the General Business Law, the warranty law for the motorized wheelchair contains discussions about the troubleshooting, replacement of the products and refunding the money. The buyer must understand all the terminologies being discussed in the section. A. Collateral costs refers to the amount paid by the consumer for the repair of any defective parts of the wheelchair. B. The term consumer may refer to the person who bought the motorized wheelchair from any manufacturer or dealer of the motorized wheelchair for a purpose other than resale. The person who is entrusted by the motorized wheelchair for a purpose other than resale, and if ever the transfer of use happens, the express warranty of the motorized wheelchair expires. It pertains the person who gives the warranty. It can also pertain to the person renting the motorized wheelchair coming from any recognized outlet of motorized wheelchair under a written lease. C. The term demonstrator is the motorized wheelchair which is used for public demonstration. D. Early termination cost refers to the expenses obtained by the renting outlets of the motorized wheelchairs which results to the termination of the written lease occurring before the specified date of expiration. E. Early termination savings refers to the obligations or expenses that are being avoided by the renting outlet of motorized wheelchair resulting to the termination of the written leases occurring before the expiration date being specified and returning the motorized wheelchair to its manufacturer stated in this section in the third paragraph of paragraph B of subdivision 3. F. Manufacturers refer to the person who is manufacturing or assembling the motorized wheelchair. The manufacturer's agents, importers, or distributors could either be the factory or the distributing branch could also be the warrantor of the manufacturer. It must be remembered that the dealers of the motorized wheelchair is never considered as the manufacturer. G. Wheelchairs driven by motors or demonstrators bought and accepted by the consumers are called motorized wheelchairs. H. Motorized wheelchair dealer is the person who is in the selling business of motorized wheelchair. I. Nonconformity refers to the parts or conditions that are defective stated in the express warranty affecting the functions, value and safety precautions. J. Reasonable attempt to repair refers the repairing of the nonconformities of the motorized wheelchair within the period of warranty upon its purchase. The consumers should be provided with express warranties by the manufacturers or any motorized dealer upon the date of purchase. Which identity for Australians? What will happen to Australian identity? Can it transform? Will new identities emerge? Some of Australia's best and brightest convened at Melbourne Business School for a 2-day workshop February 14 to 15 on the futures of Australian identity as a lead-up to the Australia Davos Future Summit. Organized by Paul Hameister of the Future Summit, hosted by Dr. Robert Burke of Mount Eliza Centre for Executive Education and facilitated by Professor Suhail Anayatullah, the workshop explored and developed scenarios of the futures of Australian identity. Globalization, demographic changes, perceptions of loss of safety because of world terrorism, challenges to multiculturalism, demographic shifts, the possibility of pandemics and dramatic new genomic, nanotechnology, energy, surveillance, brain-mind technologies all portend a disturbed world, a world in flux. The meeting began with a showing of investigative comic Akmal Sawless Compass, ABC TV attempt to understand Australia Day. His conclusion was that Australia was in a process of becoming tolerance. The laid-back lifestyle and different understandings of what it means to be Australian were the keys to identity sanity. The workshop was structured around a Niatellus methodology, mapping the past through the methodology of shared history, mapping the future through the future's triangle, disturbing the future through emerging issues analysis, deepening the future through causal layered analysis, and transforming the future through visioning and backcasting. 3 dimensions of the future provide the focus for the future's triangle, which in turn laid the groundwork for the scenarios. The 3 dimensions are the pull or image of the future, the push of the present quantitative drivers, and the weight of history, the barriers to change. Lucky country. The lucky country was the first image of identity that emerged. Identity here was based on the past, on the agricultural era. Resource riches have created this identity. Its driving metaphor. She'll be right. However, participants questioned whether she would indeed be right. They felt that Australia was selling the family silver, and that with policies that have not been gracious toward others, refugees, the weakest in society, participants felt that luck may be running out. Moreover, this identity was overly passive, relying on what nature had given Australia, not what Australians could individually and collectively do to create a new future, a new identity. Renewed past. The second image was that of the renewed past. This was based on today's leaders looking back at the 1950s as the ideal era. Anzac parades. Identity linked to Mother England's strong male values were crucial here. Of course, as we continue to the future, the identity would be renewed through technology, but the white picket fence will remain. Nostalgia for the past, strong moral values, and male leaders are pivotal to this future. Participants did not think this unicultural image could lead Australia, as women had too many barriers to achieve full equity in this future. More than renewing the past was required. This image was closer to the hearts of the veteran demographic groups and some baby boomers than these more youthful leaders. Theme park. The past is powerful resource. The third image was that of Australia theme parks. Identity here was disparate, fossilized yet respectful of multicultural Australia, but it's not dynamic. Each theme park, in this future, represents the many cultures that are Australia. Each theme park is used to bring in tourists from around the world. In this future, culture is the big seller, culture is the winner. There was also discomfort in this culture for sale future. While media companies would do amazingly well in the postmodern future, participants were unsure if the image of the croc hunter, among other potentialities, was the desired future. Lucky country, renewed past, and theme park were all past-based, focused on preserving rather than creating a new. They were also exclusive, attempting to protect in some way past traditions, resources, relationship to England, patriarchy, and culture itself. Contrasting futures were innovative Oz, local and no identity. Innovative Oz. Innovative Oz was certainly preferred. The image was that of the boxing kangaroo, having the capacity to meet any adversity. Indeed, it's adversity that brings out the best in Australians. They come together, they invent, they innovate, they create a new future. Global travel, early adoption of technology, and social experimentation were all attributes of this future. Gender equity, embracing of the ways of knowing of other cultures are all attributes that help Australia stay innovative. Culture enhances science and technology, synergizing to create a unique country and people. Identity is both tough, the nerves of steel as exhibited by female and male sports heroes, and soft, open to others, desiring to learn from all so as to be best one can be. Global. But does this future go far enough? Questioned some participants. They imagined an alternative future, that of the enlightened Australian living in a global and local world. National identity was softer and duty to the planet and the locale stronger. The nation-state and states themselves were less important. Identity was Gaian, linked to the planet as whole and one's own locale. The cultural creatives demographic group is the driver for this future. Sustainability, spiritual values, global governance were key values in this gentler future. Indigenous culture and spirituality were not external to identity but embraced at deep levels. Innovation emerges not just from science and technology but from ethics and integrity, from leadership doing the right thing and thus keeping the luck karma continuing. But what would happen to those focused on the past who need stability? How would they manage in this changing future? Would social cohesion be possible if localities began to use identity as a weapon against each other? Clearly, this future would only be possible if there were superordinate rules setting up how localities organized in this global becoming. No Aussie identity. The question of all identities feeling at home in a rapidly changing world was even more salient in the last future. No Aussie identity. Because of economic globalization, movement of capital, goods, services and labor, national barriers break down. Identity can be with one's transnational corporation or with one's religion, the global ummah for Muslims, for example, with one's website as in asiagroove.com, or with some other main identity. This future, while embraced by a few participants, was disturbing for others. While they found the glocal, lieutenant self-inspired and working for the collective, this new self was still considered selfish, putting self, company, religion, web community before nation. Those wedded to the past, lucky country and renewed past would especially find this threatening. The sacrifices they had made in the last 100 years would amount to nothing, it was felt. Beyond the scenarios, these images of the future were then tested using a range of different methods, including emerging issues analysis, to discern how new technologies might change these futures. The double variable scenario method was used to test if new futures would emerge. This method used inclusion and exclusion on one axis and stable and disturbed on the other axis. The images made a good fit with this analysis. Lucky country and renewed past were based on stable exclusionary worlds. Glocal was inclusionary and future-oriented. Innovative Oz was based on future orientation, but there would be some clear winners: the emerging knowledge economy and those who could adapt, whose identity was less rigid, and loses those who yearn for the gold old days. The theme park future was past-oriented and inclusionary, as all cultures were part of Australia but in a ossified way. No Australian identity was extreme inclusionary to those who could make the shift but excluding those who held on to the nation-state. The preferred future, when participants voted on their preferred future, the loading was strong toward innovative Oz and glocal. Both involve the current identity to use the past stories of meeting adversity as well as the values of respect for nature, respect for others, to create new futures. While the first creates the enlightened Australian, the second creates the enlightened global and local citizen. Which future will become reality? Participants believed that any of these 6 futures was plausible. Which one becomes the actual reality is based on many factors, including which futures we decide to make come true. Next step is to road test these identities as scenarios, asking others what is missing, what is plausible. But most important is what is preferred. Which is your preferred future? When it comes to high-quality medical shirts, scrubs tops are usually your most reliable decision. When the time comes to purchase high-quality medical shirts, scrubs tops are often the first piece of medical apparel considered. That's because when it comes to medical shirts, scrubs tops offer unique planned professionalism, reliability, functionality and individuality. There are few pieces of medical apparel as necessary and as versatile as medical shirts. Scrub tops, of course, are the leading type of professional shirts. If you are interested in purchasing high-quality medical shirts, scrubs tops are often your first choice for superior quality and reliability. There are few concepts as important to your working environment as the medical apparel you choose to utilize. Of course, when you care for medical shirts, scrubs tops are often the easiest to care for, simply because medical apparel manufacturers clearly have cleaning instructions included. This ensures that you get the most for your money when you purchase medical shirts. Scrubs tops don't have to be a sterile white color anymore. In fact, scrubs tops are hotter than ever with a brilliant array of colors, prints and designs to choose from. It's easy to find a company capable of selling medical shirts. Scrubs tops are a popular category within the medical apparel industry. One reason for this popularity has to do with the versatility and functionality of the medical shirts. Scrubs tops offer so many options not only to the professional career but to the person and to the medical staff as well. You get so many benefits from high-quality medical shirts. Scrub tops are just the beginning of what you can get simply by wanting to look your best while maintaining the level of professionalism necessary for your medical career. Of course, when it comes to medical shirts, you will find that the benefits offered by those medical shirts does not stop simply at you and your career. In fact, there is so much more you can do with the right medical shirts. Scrubs tops offer you the opportunity to protect you and your patient from contagions and other unwanted pests. Scrubs tops must maintain the level of sterility and neatness required by your medical facility simply to keep everybody healthy and clean. Yes, there are a lot of medical shirts. Scrubs tops are usually chosen by what's required in your medical or healthcare facility as well as what you prefer yourself. This is what makes the concept of medical shirts so wonderful. You get the chance to be you. In an industry where conformity is often strict, you will appreciate the benefits of these medical shirts. Scrubs tops let you be who you are while you are still conforming to standards set forth by your medical institution. When you need high-quality medical shirts, Scrubs tops are of course top of the line. Where are you going to get those high-quality medical shirts? Scrubs tops are available through your favorite medical apparel company. You will find great prices, reliable service and superior customer service when you shop with the medical apparel company you trust. What services can a private detective provide? You may be thinking that you know what a private detective does because you've seen them portrayed on TV and in the movies. You may think that the life of a private detective is interesting and action-packed based on things that you've read in a wide variety of mystery novels. Unfortunately, in many cases, the life of a private detective is far less glamorous than what you may think. However, that does not mean that there are not a wide variety of services that a private detective can provide. A private detective can help with services relating to divorce and custody cases. For example, a person may choose to have their spouse followed by a private detective to establish that he or she is not in the place they have said they would be, not with the person they had said they would be meeting. Photographs can be taken, phone lines can in some areas be tapped, evidence can be collected. The private detective will also be able to identify the assets of the other party to help determine alimony and child support payments. This can be done with an asset search that establishes home ownership, property ownership as well as income and other intangible assets to determine the appropriate payment amount. Similarly, a private detective can conduct asset searches for business persons who want to see that a prospective investor is who he or she says he is. Likewise, asset searches may be performed by businesses wishing to conduct an employee background check before hiring someone new onto the company staff. By conducting background checks on prospective employees, a business can learn whether or not the applicant's job history is as reported, whether he or she has failed a drug test or has a criminal record, all points that may affect a hiring decision. A private detective can also work with a company to investigate an employee who has already been with the company for a while, perhaps when it's suspected that someone has been embezzling or otherwise creating problems for the company. If a business suspects that there are problems, a private detective can be called in to investigate accidents or theft, absenteeism, or employee misconduct. Likewise, company vehicles can be tracked to ensure that they are only being used for business activities. Collection assistance can in some cases be provided as well. You'll find that data can be restored from computers. Hidden cameras can be used where necessary. In other words, a private detective can provide a wide variety of services that individuals and businesses may need, services that can identify problems and provide solutions. Though the life of a private detective may not be glamorous, a private investigator is able to work with you to get your needs met by offering professional services, experience, and using their knowledge and expertise to get the job done right. When you need more information about a person and don't know how to get it, contact a private detective. When you want to be sure that your employees are not taking advantage of your company, consider turning to a private detective. He or she can work with you to make sure that you're able to learn what you need to know. Why choosing Landau uniforms and scrubs just makes sense. As a professional, you demand the best in your career. By giving your best, you get the best in return. Know your job may be tedious and dirty, but you care for patients with compassion and love. When you purchase Landau uniforms and/or scrubs, you will discover you chose a workwear designer that cares about you and your patients as much as you care for your patients. There are many options for the man or woman wanting to investigate what Landau uniforms and scrubs have to offer. A lot will depend on your exact needs, your position, and of course, your workplace's guidelines and policies concerning workwear. Landau men's lab coats and jackets offer exceptional quality and choices when you need lab coats or jackets for your workplace environment. Each of these Landau men's lab coats and jackets offer the best design, construction, and color choices, perfect for the man who wants it all. Landau women's lab coats and jackets offer the same exceptional quality and choices but tend to be more geared with the woman in mind. The fit, the styles, and the choices are ideal for the woman who demands better in everything she does. Landau unisex tops and unisex pants are the perfect workwear for the professional who likes to mix things up from time to time. Choosing separates is popular simply because it offers a lot of options. When it comes to Landau unisex tops and unisex pants, the professional will find they save money and are getting colors and designs perfect for anyone regardless of the gender. Landau men's scrub tops and Landau men's scrub pants are designed with the same excellence you expect from Landau, except the designs are perfect for the professional man. The color choices as well as the print options are specifically geared towards the man. Landau women's scrub tops and Landau women's scrub pants are designed for the average woman's physique. Get the hot, stylish colors and prints popular today in the fashion industry, but get the workwear construction necessary for high-quality workwear. Landau children's scrubs are perfect for the patient or little helper who wants to feel and look great. These fun, playful designs help ease the anxiety and stress of the patient while offer a fun way to be a part of the experience. The sizes range in a category where anyone can wear these wonderful Landau children's scrubs, anyone. Of course, when you choose Landau uniforms and scrubs for your workwear, you will discover you have a partner in your career. Landau will be there when you need perfection, and you will be capable of working without worry because Landau offers support and comfort. No matter what you need when it comes to workwear, Landau has options perfect for you and your lifestyle. Workplace environments may change, but rest assured Landau maintains the same high standards that have made all Landau uniforms and scrubs one of the most desirable workwear in the industry. By now you probably know that the baby boomer generation includes all those people who were born between the years of 1946 through 1964. And you probably know that the baby boomer generation is quite large, encompassing some 78 million individuals. But what you might not fully understand is how the baby boomer generation got its name. The term baby boom corresponds to what was happening back during the early days of the baby boomer generation. Among other things, the end of World War II in 1945 brought with it the return to their homeland of 101,000 of young men and women. In the United States, it was a time of world domination and economic and it was also a time of soaring marriage rates and urban sprawl, and young couples weren't wasting any time starting families. Population explosion. If you were young, healthy and female during 1945 and 1946, there was a good chance you were pregnant too. It was during 1946 that the birth rate exploded to levels never before reached. In the years that followed, birth rates continued to soar. It was this explosion of new births that would later become known as the baby boom, which is what gave rise to the term that is so prevalent in our society today. Although the timeline of births extends beyond what normally would be classified as a generation, those born between the baby boomer generation years of 1946-1964 without a doubt have much in common. They were brought up in the years after the Depression, and the victory in World War II brought about a time of optimism. The baby boomer generation was the first generation to grow up with television and advertising and a newfound sense of equitability. To those born during the baby boom, it seemed almost a goal to break all of the rules that had restricted their parents and their grandparents. And break those rules they did. Growing up during the baby boomer years meant growing up with rock and roll and massive marketing. It was a time to question authority and experiment with drugs and sex. The early baby boomer years were as unique back then as they are right now. A generation of fulfillment. No other generation in history has so forcefully refused to grow old. And as the first of the baby boomer generation nears retirement age, they have much to look forward to. Rather than being something to fear, today's baby boomer lifestyle is one to be embraced. Baby boomers are living longer and they're working as hard as they play. They're traveling, dating, expanding their knowledge and staying active. They're committed to doing whatever it takes to maximize every single moment of life that they have left. More than the years of their birth, their drive, their determination and their absolute love of life are what makes a baby boomer. If you were lucky enough to be born during the baby boom, go ahead and wear the baby boomer label with pride. When giving perfume as gifts. A favorite gift to give whatever the occasion, whether it's a birthday, Valentine's, Christmas or anniversary, is perfume. Perfumes are perfect gifts to cherish and are very much appreciated, most especially when it turns out to be your favorite scent. Giving perfume as a present knows no boundaries, whatever is the gender, nationality, race, religion or age. Both men and women enjoy wearing their chosen fragrance, and even young ones at that. Perfume, though, is something personal, given that each and every one has her own preference. This is the reason why some are hesitant to purchase one as a present for fear that it may not be what the other party likes. But once you know the recipient's fave choices, giving perfume as a present will always be welcomed with open arms. In your perfume selection, there are several important steps to consider. As much as possible, secure information as to what favorite scent or perfume the gift recipient likes to wear. So as not to ruin a perfect surprise, you can casually pop the question over a casual conversation, or if you happen to be living with that person, you can do some investigation by raiding his or her closet on what type of perfume he or she likes. If there is that one particular scent that the recipient adores, buy a bottle of that fragrance and don't limit yourself to perfume only. You can buy the perfume from your favorite local perfume store or shop, or you could purchase one online and have it shipped directly to the recipient. You'll be amazed at the many amazing deals and discounts that you will find being offered on the net. Plus, you get a lot more choices. Always check the return policy, if you are not sure on whether or not the recipient will appreciate the perfume brand you chose. Here are some additional helpful tips. If the perfume recipient happens to be in a very close relationship with you, like for instance a sister, a close friend, or your daughter, and you didn't find out what she particularly likes, choose a scent that you like. Just ensure though that you could return and have it exchanged in case the recipient doesn't share your taste. The selected perfume should be appropriate for the recipient's age. The young ones actually prefer light scents over the heavy ones. If unsure of your recipient's taste, go for eau de toilette or eau de cologne instead in terms of perfume concentration. Lastly, bear in mind that a perfume's price is extremely variable. You can find some for just less than $10 while others can cost $100. Recycling is sort of like exercising. We all know we should do it, but not all of us do it as often as we should, and some of us don't do it at all. However, there are lots of reasons why you should make an effort to recycle as much as possible. If you haven't been diligent about recycling your garbage, here are 7 good reasons why you should start. It cuts back on global warming. Our planet is starting to feel the effects of global warming already, and we need to do whatever we can to lessen the impact. Production of certain materials from scratch can release significant amounts of CO2 into the atmosphere. Aluminum production is a prime example. Producing new aluminum creates 95% more CO2 than recycling old aluminum cans. In addition, recycling paper saves trees. For each ton of paper recycled, 17 trees are saved. Each of these trees can extract around 250 pounds of carbon dioxide from the air in a year. It makes us more energy efficient. It often takes a great deal more energy to create something from scratch than to recycle it. For example, it takes twice as much energy to burn plastic as to recycle it. It takes 64% more energy to make paper than to recycle it. And recycling just 1 pound of steel can save enough energy to run a 60-watt bulb for 1 day. It keeps our landfills from overflowing. We're fast running out of space for landfills, especially near cities. Seaside cities have been dumping trash into their oceans for decades to circumvent the problem, but with widespread marine ecological collapse, this is no longer a viable option. Worse yet, it's difficult to find land in suburban and rural areas whose residents will allow landfills to come into their areas without a fight. The squeeze for landfill land is only going to get worse in the future. Recycling gives us some hope for this bleak scenario. Studies show that 60% to 75% of garbage in landfills can be recycled. That means that if everybody recycled, we'd have 60% to 75% less garbage in our landfills, and we'd need at least that much less land for garbage disposal. It improves the quality of our groundwater. The garbage in landfills is usually not treated in any way, it's simply thrown in a big hole and buried over. Much of this garbage is not environmentally friendly or readily biodegradable, and it's no surprise that contaminants can get into our water. Rain and other runoff from landfills gets into our streams, rivers, lakes, and other waterways, damaging fragile ecosystems. It's also a major reason why it's not safe to drink from streams and rivers when you're hiking and camping, even when it looks like you are in a pristine environment. Recycling reduces the trash in landfills, and the more we recycle, the more our water systems can start becoming as pure as they look. It reduces air pollution. Many factories that produce plastics, metals and paper products release toxins into the air. Recycle these materials and there will be less need for companies to manufacture new materials, saving on the amount of pollution dumped into our atmosphere. In addition, disposing of certain recyclable materials can also produce significant pollution. For example, plastics are often burned in incinerators. Plastics are made with oil and that oil is released into the atmosphere when the plastic burns, creating serious greenhouse gas emissions. It creates jobs. From manufacturing to processing, from collection to invention, it's no secret that recycling is a growth industry, earning billions of dollars annually. Our need to recycle is only going to grow more urgent as populations grow and as technology changes. Recycling creates far more jobs than landfills do, enough jobs to make a big difference in a small town. It adds to property value. It's obvious that a landfill near your home can decrease your property value significantly. Recycling reduces the amount of land needed for landfills. This reduces the number of houses near landfills, keeping property values up and homeowners happy. The more people recycle, the fewer landfills we need, and if enough people pitch in, recycling should pay off for everybody. It's good business. Pitting business against the environment is a lose-lose situation. Everybody suffers. And yet that's how the debate has been framed in politics and the public sphere for years. This is a shame, because the truth is that recycling just makes good business sense. Industrial factories and processing plants save plenty of money on energy and extraction strategies when they use recycled materials instead of virgin resources. They also ensure that basic resources don't become a scarce commodity, keeping demand and prices down and ensuring that their business can continue for decades to come. One person can make one difference. With so many good causes, it's easy to get discouraged, especially when the problem is so widespread that it's hard to see what difference your individual effort is making. Many people think this is true with recycling too, but the truth is that small acts of recycling make a big difference. For example, recycling just one large newspaper would save around 75,000 trees. On average, each person in the US produces around 1,600 pounds of waste each year. If you recycled all of that, you could save around 1,100 pounds of waste per year. That's over half a ton just by yourself. We hope that after reading this article you'll be inspired to become a recycling advocate, or at least be certain to recycle in the future. Recycling benefits everybody and takes only a little trash sorting to put into effect. With our limited space for landfills and dwindling resources, it's a sure thing that recycling is here to stay. When you want Disney medical scrubs, you can expect more. Disney scrubs have the answer. Whether you work in a pediatric, veterinarian or clinical office, Disney medical scrubs offer you choices galore. Disney scrubs are an extremely popular logo when it comes to designer medical scrubs. There is a method to the madness. Disney medical scrubs are highly ranked on the cuteness factor, and that goes a long way in a medical environment. There are a multitude of reasons why a cuteness factor is important, and the most important is placing the patient and the patient's family in a state of comfort, relaxation and ease regardless of the atmosphere. Yes, Disney scrubs can do that for you and your workplace. With Disney medical scrubs you can have the well-groomed professional staff that's a necessity in today's medical field, while retaining a personal value that help you achieve your goals. How can a simple set of Disney scrubs accomplish this extraordinary mission? Simple. Disney medical scrubs offer those popular Disney characters including Mickey Mouse, Donald Duck, Goofy and many more trademarked characters. With these exquisite medical scrubs you will find that the high quality, the brand and the cost are exceptional. Disney scrubs offer an emphasis on you while maintaining the professional atmosphere in the workplace. Yes, Disney medical scrubs are popular for people of any age, from the young to the young at heart. Even those Disney characters range in age. There are adult and children Disney characters, perfect for putting your patient at ease. Another benefit of those popular Disney medical scrubs is that you can identify employees or staff while still appealing to the patient. Did you know that Disney scrubs offer you something else? 1. Medical uniforms and medical scrubs encourage teamwork. 2. Medical uniforms and medical scrubs can represent the superiority of your services. 3. Medical uniforms and medical scrubs can help differentiate specific duties of your team. 4. Medical uniforms and medical scrubs can increase productivity while boosting morale. 5. Finally, medical uniforms and medical scrubs can increase your safety record, lowering your insurance premiums. The benefit of having Disney medical scrubs on your team is immeasurable. Why would you not purchase Disney scrubs for your workplace? The price is minimal when it comes to the unique and professional benefits. Yes, Disney can make your workplace even more. Disney medical scrubs can also be easily customized, allowing you to place a name and/or title on the outside. You get to have the ease of use at an affordable cost. Of course, Disney scrubs appeal to everyone, not just the medical staff. People can relate to Disney characters, and wearing Disney medical scrubs can do so much for your whole office atmosphere. When it comes to Disney medical scrubs, you have to ask yourself why you have waited so long to add Disney scrubs to your ensemble. Nothing could be easier, more affordable, or more beneficial. In addition, each purchase offers those discounted prices without negotiating on quality. What's different in Indian fashion? Indian fashion has a greedy new customer these days. The Indian metrosexual. In other words, the young men who are dressing to impress, look good, and get a cut above the rest. Gone are the days when the only men who dressed to kill were film stars and models. With a range of outfits that suit all styles, occasions, and budgets now being available all over, Indian men are suddenly looking hotter. Rohit Chavda, a 26-year-old advertising executive, now has a wardrobe that he says he loves to show off. Rohit's wardrobe consists of a range of outfits, right from formal business suits to sports jackets and pullovers, and also several traditional outfits like akans, jodhpuris, sherwanis, and churidar kurtas, apart from his regular jeans, t-shirts, and cotton trousers. I feel like a business tycoon when I wear a business suit to an important meeting instead of the regular run-of-the-mill shirt and trouser. I feel more confident when I'm dressed well and my clients take me more seriously. And the best part of it is that clothes no longer cost a bomb. I can walk into a store and buy a stylish suit of the rack and not have to pay through my nose. What about traditional Indian clothing? Rohit answers, when I wear a sherwani to a wedding, I can see the girls secretly eyeing me. They think of me as the new age Indian man who is modern but takes pride in being traditional. Many other young men like Rohit enjoy dressing in traditional Indian clothes. Jodhpuris, akans, sherwanis, churidar kurtas, etc. are now being introduced by leading fashion designers and fashion houses. They're tailored using rich fabrics and are embroidered heavily, making the wearer look elegant, classy, and stylish. More and more Indian men are now looking forward to festivals, weddings, and traditional ceremonies. It's giving them a chance to dress up and enjoy as much as their female counterparts. When will the world wake up? How can any human being today, anywhere in this world, not be fearful and angry? We have turned into a society where hate is a primary emotion. People are killing people, nations are destroying nations, it's a never-ending battle of might over right. Is that magnificent line from Eden Arbez's song Nature Boy no longer what defines us as a civilized society? The greatest gift that we can learn is just to love and be loved in return. It's a great line, a golden rule if ever there was one. It's the philosophy of life. Have not our leaders, all leaders throughout the world, realized yet that terrorism begets terrorism? Hate begets hate. Actions beget reactions, whether positive or negative. Have we forgotten love begets love? Goodness triumphs over evil. Live and let live. The world has become a free-for-all in which there is no sense or sanity anymore, and where the victims are our children. Don't we have a responsibility to protect them? To shield them from the realities of hate, prejudice, immorality, fear, and pessimism? It's no wonder we have more depressed children than ever before, more children on medication, more children acting out their anger and angst against others in ways we could never before have comprehended. What is to become of our next generation as they grow into adults? What is to become of the 21st century? Where is all this negativity leading? What frightening questions. People must look to the past to understand the present and prepare for the future. In modern, civilized times, let's go back just some 65 years as an example. On November 9, 1938, Adolf Hitler's Nazi Party smashed all the window of every Jewish family's home, synagogue, and business Kristallnacht, the night of broken glass, and herded them like cattle into ghettos. Number 1 came to help them. It was the beginning of a genocide we still can't nor should not ever forget. When no country would take them in as if they were vermin, not even the United States, these millions of people were moved into concentration camps throughout Eastern Europe, separated from their families, starved and tortured not for anything they had done but for who they were. And then the horror began as the mass shootings, gas chambers and indiscriminate murders started. The United States did not come to the Jewish people's aid until 1941, when Pearl Harbor was attacked by the Japanese. What would have happened if the Japanese didn't attack? Would the United States have joined the Allies to help save these destined people? Or would they have allowed the genocide to continue, the illegal massacre of the world's first religion, God's chosen people, as the Bible states, the religion of Christ? Did Christ advocate killing especially his own people? If he were alive, he would have been the first to denounce it, the first to fight it, and the first to die for it. Just imagine, 6 million Jews were killed in the concentration camps in a 6-year period. Of course there were many others. 6 million non-Jews were also slaughtered, but for this thesis, let's focus on the Jewish people, the people who were being blamed for the depression. If 6 million Jews were killed in 6 years, 1939-1945, that's approximately a million innocent people a year, which is 83,333 every month. 19,380 a week, 2,769 every day, 46 every hour, which comes to 2 men, women and children each minute of each hour of each day of each week of each month of each year for 6 years straight. Former New York Mayor Rudolph Giuliani in the June 22, 2003 New York Times wrote, "There is a worldwide surge in anti-Semitic violence. Last spring, physical attacks against Jews in France were occurring at a rate of 8 to 12 a day, with 14 arson attacks on synagogues in a 2-week period. In Russia, signs reading 'Death to Jews' were placed along highways and rigged to explode if anyone sought to remove them." An opinion survey of adults in 10 European countries found that 21% harbor strong anti-Semitic views. The ADL's Conference of Global Anti-Semitism in 2002 found that 58% of Germans believe the Jews still talk too much about the Holocaust, followed closely by Spain with 57%, Austria with 56%, Switzerland with 52%, France with 46%, Italy with 43%, Belgium with 38%, the Netherlands with 35%, Denmark with 30%, and the UK with 23%. The percentage of those who believe Jews are more loyal to Israel than their home country: Spain 72%, Italy 58%, Germany 55%, Austria 54%, Belgium 50%, Switzerland 49%, the Netherlands 48%, Denmark 45%, France 42%, and the UK 34%. The percentage of those who believe Jews have too much power in the business world: Spain 63%, Belgium 44%, France 42%, Austria 40%, Switzerland 37%, Germany 32%, UK 21%, the Netherlands 20%, and Denmark 13%. Is it any wonder why the Jewish people fear for their lives around the world, and why what's happening in the Middle East right now is so crucial to their survival as a people? Isn't it wonderful that our world is made up of such diversity, so many religious and ethnic groups? How fascinating to meet someone new and learn more about their culture and heritage. We will never all be the same, no matter how much terrorism or genocide. Not every country will be a democracy nor wants to be. We have no right to tell people, cultures that are 1,000 of years old and know no other way to live, how they should now live. Terrorism is created by mankind when they refuse to accept other ways of life. We've rid Iraq of Saddam Hussein. Isn't it time to allow Iraq to rebuild its own country and government? It's our refusal to leave that's creating the insurgency. And for every insurgent we kill, hundreds more become resolute with rage and revenge. Worldwide terrorism en masse. White gold wedding rings. Wedding is the most important moment in everyone's life. Talk of wedding and the next thing you would remember is a wedding ring. It's used as a part of the wedding ritual. Exchanging a wedding ring is a symbolic representation of a bond between the couple. The moment when the ring is exchanged is very important and dear to the couple. Most of the couples exchange an engagement ring at the time of the engagement. Thus, after the marriage, the wedding ring is worn along with the engagement ring. The wedding ring is usually worn on the base of left ring finger. In some countries of the world, it's worn on the right ring finger also. A wedding ring is also known as a wedding band. It's always made of a precious material such as gold, silver, or platinum. Choosing the material is a major decision to be made when you buy a wedding ring. The major factors that are involved in choosing the material are the cost and design of the ring. One of the most preferred wedding rings is white gold wedding ring. White gold is an alloy of gold and at least of one of the white metals such as nickel or palladium. The white gold alloy of gold and nickel is usually preferred for rings as it is stronger. The best quality of white gold available is of 17 carats made of gold and palladium alloy. White gold rings have variety of designs for you to choose from. If you wish to have a simple ring, you can choose a wedding band. This will be a plain ring with no design or stonework on it. The most simple and charming designs of all rings. In case you would like to have some artistic design work, then you may choose rings with some handwork in them. Choosing a diamond ring should be a good option for your life partner. A diamond is forever and has its own charm in a ring. Diamond stone work in a white gold ring should be a wonderful choice. Visit any of the jewelry shops and you can find lots of designs of white gold rings. You will be having plenty of choices to choose from. Another option that you have is to use the internet. You would get a fair idea of the latest fashion design and even the cost of the rings. Thus you can be prepared well when you want to buy the ring. There is no rule that the two rings must be of the same design. You can have different types of rings for the bride and the bridegroom. Before you choose the wedding ring design, it's important to choose it keeping in mind your taste. The wedding ring is to be worn for a long time and hence you need to buy a ring that you like and love to wear it and a while and choose the best wedding ring that would live with you for years to come. Why fuss over wedding centerpieces? Simple ideas. Dreaming of having the perfect wedding is what every bride and groom wish for, and why wouldn't they with all the time and effort they put into the preparations? Wedding plans and what goes on behind the scenes is very time consuming. Things like ordering the wedding bands, gown and securing the date for the reception hall and chapel can all prove to be an ordeal, but if carefully thought out instead of leaving arrangements like this to the last minute, then you can be sure of a smooth road ahead. Sometimes it's the little things that are overlooked that can cause the whole event to go pear-shaped, and one being is the absence of a centerpiece. Wedding centerpieces are beautiful embellishments that are extremely important. These eye-catching pieces of work were white gold wedding rings. Wedding is the most important moment in everyone's life. Talk of wedding and the next thing you would remember is a wedding ring. It's used as a part of the wedding ritual. Exchanging a wedding ring is a symbolic representation of a bond between the couple. The moment when the ring is exchanged is very important and dear to the couple. Most of the couples exchange an engagement ring at the time of the engagement. Thus, after the marriage, the wedding ring is worn along with the engagement ring. The wedding ring is usually worn on the base of left ring finger. In some countries of the world, it's worn on the right ring finger also. A wedding ring is also known as a wedding band. It's always made of a precious material such as gold, silver, or platinum. Choosing the material is a major decision to be made when you buy a wedding ring. The major factors that are involved in choosing the material are the cost and design of the ring. One of the most preferred wedding rings is white gold wedding ring. White gold is an alloy of gold and at least of one of the white metals such as nickel or palladium. The white gold alloy of gold and nickel is usually preferred for rings as it is stronger. The best quality of white gold available is of 17 carats made of gold and palladium alloy. White gold rings have variety of designs for you to choose from. If you wish to have a simple ring, you can choose a wedding band. This will be a plain ring with no design or stonework on it. The most simple and charming designs of all rings. In case you would like to have some artistic design work, then you may choose rings with some handwork in them. Choosing a diamond ring should be a good option for your life partner. A diamond is forever and has its own charm in a ring. Diamond stone work in a white gold ring should be a wonderful choice. Visit any of the jewelry shops and you can find lots of designs of white gold rings. You will be having plenty of choices to choose from. Another option that you have is to use the internet. You would get a fair idea of the latest fashion design and even the cost of the rings. Thus you can be prepared well when you want to buy the ring. There is no rule that the two rings must be of the same design. You can have different types of rings for the bride and the bridegroom. Before you choose the wedding ring design, it's important to choose it keeping in mind your taste. The wedding ring is to be worn for a long time, and hence you need to buy a ring that you like and love to wear it and a while, and choose the best wedding ring that would live with you for years to come. Why fuss over wedding centerpieces? Simple ideas. Dreaming of having the perfect wedding is what every bride and groom wish for, and why wouldn't they, with all the time and effort they put into the preparations? Wedding plans and what goes on behind the scenes is very time consuming. Things like ordering the wedding bands, gown, and securing the date for the reception hall and chapel can all prove to be an ordeal, but if carefully thought out instead of leaving arrangements like this to the last minute, then you can be sure of a smooth road ahead. Sometimes it's the little things that are overlooked that can cause the whole event to go pear-shaped, and one being is the absence of a centerpiece. Wedding centerpieces are beautiful embellishments that are extremely important. These eye-catching pieces of work will add beauty wherever they are placed. Centerpieces don't have to be the center of attention on the day, but if displayed with perfection in mind, then expect surrounding areas to send out volumes of high-tone attractiveness, especially if the centerpiece is flowers. Which future for Southeast Queensland? The SEQ 2026 plan intends to protect biodiversity, contain urban development, build and maintain community identity, make travel more efficient, and support a prosperous economy. At the same time, the regional plan proposes that communities be built and managed using the most up-to-date and effective measures to conserve water and energy, and for the design and siting of buildings to take advantage of the subtropical climate. This is certainly a step in the right direction. Keywords: future of Australia, future studies, future scenarios. The SEQ 2026 plan intends to protect biodiversity, contain urban development, build and maintain community identity, make travel more efficient, and support a prosperous economy. At the same time, the regional plan proposes that communities be built and managed using the most up-to-date and effective measures to conserve water and energy, and for the design and siting of buildings to take advantage of the subtropical climate. This is certainly a step in the right direction. SEQ provides a vision, direction so as to deal with expected demographic change and the resultant problems and opportunities. Reflecting on lost opportunities, John Minery writes that in 1944, planners proposed a 1-mile-wide green belt of rural land encircling Brisbane's developed suburbs, together with future satellite towns linked by road. Supporters argued that cities were spreading like spilled treacle, engulfing everything in its path. Such treacle cities covered good agricultural land. They led to the overloading of water and sewerage mains and to insurmountable traffic problems. However, this proposal was not implemented. But just think how different Southeast Queensland would look today if the idea had been implemented. Clear breaks in the continuous suburban landscape now stretching from Noosa to the Tweed and beyond Ipswich. Public effort put into towns beyond the Green Belt with a better distribution of jobs and the infrastructure to serve them. And no public concern about the looming sprawling 200 kilometers city. SEQ 2026 has learned from this lesson in setting out a vision and new directions for the future. But what might 2026 actually look like? While we cannot know the future, we can reduce uncertainty. We gain a better sense of the possibilities through scenarios. I offer 4 futures for the SEQ region. SEQ still livable. SEQ 2026 goals achieved. It's 2026 and there is plenty of opportunity in Queensland. The population has dramatically increased, but through good governance, community consultation and foresight, negative possibilities, crime, congestion, pollution have been mitigated, and positive possibilities, job growth, green belt protection, water and energy management, travel choices enhanced. People still want to move to SEQ even with higher housing prices. A two-class society has not resulted as government has intervened to deal with inequity. Green spaces are plenty and urban design is far more sensitive to local conditions. A fair, green and healthy go is still possible. Queenslanders still look to government to solve their problems, but they are less dependent on the state. They're also more globalized, looking to live, work, travel, learn from, import and export to the broader world. Using dramatic new technologies, Queenslanders are planning for 2046. SEQ hot and paved. SEQ 2026 goals failed as growth was too dramatic. Looking back, the plan needed far more teeth. While it was an admirable effort to take power away from local shires and put the region first, that is not how things turned out. Market pressures kept housing prices going up, demand from other parts of Australia and overseas continued. Developers gave lip service to green and social concerns. A two-class society has started to emerge. Traffic problems did not decrease, rather every effort to widen highways in a matter of years led to more congestion. The vicious cycle continued. SEQ is a long highway between Coolangatta and Noosa. Global warming has only made life worse. Temperature continues to rise, water shortages increase. SEQ is full of hot cities, paved cities with higher than normal temperatures. Many have made money, but the quality has life for others have gone down. Health indicators continue to worsen. Citizens look to local government to solve problems. Local government looks to state government, which looks to the federal. The federal seeks to stay in power. Capacity continues to shrink. SEQ wired and miserable. The last 20 years have been a series of confrontations between local authorities and regional government, between developers and environmentalists, between individual freedom and security, between councillors and state governments, between young and old, between rural areas and the beach, and between new migrants, many environmental refugees, and old migrants. Endless sprawl, congested highways, gang warfare have made SEQ a miserable place to live in. There are many gated communities, high gate, big dog that give some peace to the elderly. But outside these communities social tensions fester. Peace is also kept via surveillance, live Google and tough regulation. Air has been digitalized and citizens are monitored in every possible way. Discipline is the buzzword. SEQ returns to the political climate of the 1980s. The attempts to plan for the future, while admirable, were met with resistance at every level. Local concerns took precedence over regional, and it's all a mess now. Technology and power is used to keep collective peace. SEQ transformed. The concern for the long-term future was ignored by some but became the passion for many. The SEQ vision enhanced the capacity of shires all over Queensland to develop their own visions. Logan 2026, Gold Coast 2046, Maroochy 2020, Brisbane 2026, for example. Community capacity to innovate resulted. The cultural creatives, less than 20% of the population in the early 2000s, has grown dramatically in the last 20 years. The values of sustainability, spirituality, innovation, global governance have become the official values. These values have been reinforced through systemic legislation, city design, tax regimes changes. Instead of suburbs, work-home community electronically linked hubs have grown. Working in these hubs has led to dramatic jumps in productivity, less time lost on the road, more control of one's work life. Travel choices, walking, bikeways, car and light rain have increased. Organic gardens have sprouted everywhere. Smart green technologies exist all over Queensland. Indeed, not only has this transformed Queensland, but exports of these technologies are slowly but surely changing Asian cities. SEQ is known as not just the smart centre for Australia but also the Shanti Centre. Yoga, for example, a $3 billion business in the USA 20 years ago, has now become a $1 trillion business, and SEQ has done well from it. Healthy eating and living were once a dream, but the obesity crisis of the first 10 years of this century led to a dramatic turnaround. Systems became smarter and individuals took personal responsibility for their health. The invention of the personal carbon credit system also led to reconfiguration of energy use. SEQ is a world leader. There are still conflicts, but neighborhood mediation centers, not to mention peer mediation in schools, are used to resolve many of them. While population has increased, energy consumption has maintained steady. Innovation continues to breed technological and social innovation. While there are many global changes, SEQ can meet them as citizens don't see themselves at the mercy of large institutions. Their capacity to influence their lives continues to increase. Which future? Which of these futures is the plausible one? It's certainly too soon to tell. But decisive factors will be 1. A shared vision of the desired future. 2. Good governance through enhanced community consultation and anticipatory democracy. 3. Use of smart, social and sustainable technologies to solve problems and enhance community capacity. 4. Moving away from quick fixes to the deeper issues, for example, not just expanding highways but increasing travel choices, Not just speeding up all processes but exploring the slow city, not just training more doctors but changing the hierarchical structure of modern medicine. 5. Ensuring performance indicators are linked to the direction SEQ seeks to move toward, and 6. Creating transitional strategies and cultures to move from the industrial era to the digital, sustainable era. Which future do you want for SEQ 2026? Terms and conditions. Legal notice. The publisher has strived to be as accurate and complete as possible in the creation of this report, notwithstanding the fact that he does not warrant or represent at any time that the contents within are accurate due to the rapidly changing nature of the Internet. While all attempts have been made to verify information provided in this publication, the publisher assumes no responsibility for errors, omissions, or contrary interpretation of the subject matter herein. Any perceived slights of specific persons, peoples, or organizations are unintentional. In practical advice books, like anything else in life, there are no guarantees of income made. Readers are cautioned to rely on their own judgment about their individual circumstances to act accordingly. This book is not intended for use as a source of legal, business, accounting, or financial advice. All readers are advised to seek services of competent professionals in legal, business, accounting, and finance fields. You are encouraged to print this book for easy reading. Don't leave before you press like button below and subscribe to this channel. As a subscriber, you will receive a new notifications every time a new video is uploaded. Good luck.